In this video, I'll teach you exactly how to save thousands of dollars on very low income. By the end of the video, you'll know how to live well on minimum wage.
Hey
man, how you doing? Good to see you.
You too.
Let's see what we got for lunch. Oh look, a nice little bit of beverage still left in here, fresh. Still some barbecue sauce left for lunch, fresh. Got a lot left there. Oh, the main course. Look at that. Those beans, still fresh.
You sure those are fresh?
Nothing tastes better than free. I think we forgot something in here. Oh wait, what is this? Yeah, it's a like button. Hit it. Frugal living on minimum wage is not near as extreme as I just made it sound. You can have a great life on minimum wage and you can save money and get ahead. Hey everyone, Mike Rosehart. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about something that comes up a lot in the comments, a lot on Reddit, and I just see it everywhere. People come to me and say, hey, I have a low income. I'm making minimum wage. I'm making slightly above minimum wage. Therefore, I can't subscribe to the FIRE movement. I can't save money. I can't get ahead, and I can't retire early. This video is for all you guys who think that you can't do it, because you can. I believe in you, and I'm going to show you how. It is actually very tough. I can relate. I've been there. At 16 years of age, I was making $9 an hour. You know, I've made minimum wage at a lot of times in my life and been able to save money in those times. 16, 17, 18, when I was 19, living on my own at 17, I was making minimum wage and still saving money to get ahead. So I'm going to show you in this video some secrets and tips that I used to live frugally and make those dollars on minimum wage stretch a lot further than you might think. But the three things I want to get right at is build your safety net, build a budget and then stick to it, and then get your house in order. And getting your house in order, what I mean by that is getting your housing in order. So the first thing you gotta do is get a safety net in order. It's really important that you build up that safety net, that emergency fund. If that means you have to cut back on going out, if that means you have to just live and eat in and live at home, that's what you have to do to get ahead. Once you have a few $1,000s saved up, you have that emergency fund, that safety net, you can protect yourself against those emergencies that might come up in your life. Maybe you get in a little fender bender. Maybe you have something come up with a health issue. You've got to have that emergency fund there to give you that buffer room to make sure you can really survive on minimum wage. And I think that's important, even if you aren't on minimum wage, is having that emergency fund, that buffer there for you. So important. The next thing, really, really important, even more important than I think having the safety net, is getting your house in order. And I literally mean this. You need to get your rent situation, your housing situation under control. For most people on minimum wage, more than half of their income is spent just on housing. That's super draining if you don't have your housing situation figured out properly. So what do I mean by that? I mean rent hacking. Rent hacking is the idea that you take a property that's got, say, 3 or 4 bedrooms in it, you rent that property out, and you get 3 other roommates to cover the cost of the rent. I'll give you a real example. So here in London, Ontario, the metropolitan in Canada that has about 500,000 people, you can find a 3-bedroom property, if you know where to look, in a good area for about $1,500, $1,600 a month. You might say, whoa, that's too much. I'm on minimum wage here, Mike. There's no way I can afford that. Well, hey, you're gonna get a couple of roommates to help offset the cost. Now, a bedroom in my area on Craigslist or Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace rents for around $500 a month. So if you got 3 other roommates, they would cover your entire rent and you would live for free in the 4th room. Totally something to do. You can set up a situation where maybe even have an ensuite bath off your bedroom. That feels great to live in that sort of situation. Maybe you rent out a duplex from a landlord and then rent the other unit out. Maybe you configure the house in such a way that you can get your living costs down. Maybe you have a significant other that has a 1-bedroom or bachelor apartment for $1,000 a month and you can split it with them, $500 each. That gets your living cost way down, gets it under control. There are tons of other cool options too, like, hey, there are people who travel a lot for work and need someone to house sit. That's an option to live for free. Maybe you want to become an Airbnb manager and live in a property that's being Airbnb'd out, and you can go ahead and get your living cost offset. There are tons of creative solutions to get your house in order, and I think that's the biggest one. Since I was 19 years old, I've been house hacking and rent hacking. So I'll rent places out and then re-rent them out and sublet them so I can live for free. And that's a big one. I think getting your house in order is super important. And at the end of the day, if you can get that biggest expense, which is housing, under control and out of worry, you're gonna be way further ahead and you're gonna be able to start saving. There's gonna be tons of other frugal tips I'd love to share with you in this video, but I've got other videos you can check out where I literally talk about strategies to live frugally. Things like price matching, loss leader shopping, how do you get that thing under control, that budget, that third thing I'm about to talk about? Because there's the emergency fund, there's getting your housing in order, because that's the one thing you can do. Like anyone can go ahead and rent hack or house hack, and that one change can free up hundreds of dollars a month, even thousands of dollars a month to better your financial future. And that's where most people go wrong, right? People typically go wrong in their transportation, their housing, and their miscellaneous spending, which gets them into debt. And then once you're in debt, it's very difficult to get yourself out of that debt snowball. And I want to teach you guys, I've done videos on the debt avalanche repayment strategy and the debt snowball repayment strategy to get you out of debt. But you can do it because I've done it. For the last 9 years now, I have lived on less than the poverty line. The poverty line in Canada is $22,133 a year. If you make less than that, you're considered below poverty. I have never spent more than that ever. And let's remember that low-income individuals in Canada and the United States pay almost no tax. So most people making that kind of income that are scraping by, they're having issues with potentially maybe some substance abuse issues. Maybe they got their spending out of control. But if they had a budget and they started tracking where they were spending their money and allocated that money very effectively, you'd be surprised at how far it can go. Frugal living is the solution, I think, to most of the issues people are having right now with their spending, because 97% of North Americans save less than 5% of their income. That's a startling statistic. When I was on minimum wage, I was able to live on basically half of that and save half of my minimum wage income. I've done a video, you can go check that one out. It says how anyone can retire in their 20s or 30s. And that video, I walk through the basic math, how a husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend, both working full-time at McDonald's, could retire early in as little as 8 years. I've got another video coming out about how basically anyone on minimum wage could become a millionaire in a 20-year period by making a $10 a day choice. If you could save $10 a day, you can have a huge impact on building your financial future and becoming a millionaire, actually, once you start to build up enough momentum that you start investing and saving that. It starts at just $5 or $10 a day. So it's figuring out how do you get that budget under control. First, what do you have coming in? How much money is actually coming in at the end of the day? I did some quick math on the whiteboard behind me. At our minimum wage here in Ontario, you make around $476 a week after tax and deductions. $476 a week is a ton of money. I live in a 9-bed, 5-bath house where I rent out some of the other bedrooms in the lower unit, and I have no living cost at all. I've set up a situation where my mortgage payment, my property taxes, and my utilities are paid for by the other unit. That's a great situation to be in. That's an example of a house hack. You may need to save up a down payment to get into that situation, but you could do that. I used to do it with rent hacking as well. Before I had the money for a down payment, I would just rent a place and then sublet portions of that house out to cover my costs. $476 a week goes really far towards debt repayment, towards building your financial future, if you have your house in order. Maybe you have to carpool with someone to work, and you say, hey, can I shoot you $20 a week to carpool with you? You drive right by my house. That's a win-win solution. Maybe you just start biking to work. I biked to work for many years to save on the cost of transportation. It was great. I got good exercise. I got to stay fit, and my wallet benefited. So it's about making conscious choices. I think we have to choose to better our financial selves, and that comes through controlling our spending. When you're on minimum wage, you don't have a ton of income, so you have to focus on how to be frugal and how to make that money last. I would like to then teach you strategies to earn more money, because I think on minimum wage, you have a lot of potential to earn more money. Anyone can earn more than minimum wage. We all have the skills to do it. For instance, you can cut lawns and make more than minimum wage. You can make videos and make more than minimum wage. There's so many things you could do to make way more than minimum wage. So if you're on minimum wage, welcome to my channel, because I'm going to show you how to earn a lot more money, not doing things like affiliate marketing and all this clickbaity MLM stuff, because I'm not about that. I'm about guaranteed ways to make more money. And those higher risk type activities are not guaranteed. I can show you ways where you can make $25 an hour, and $25 an hour guaranteed. You put in the effort, you get the result. It's not like if you put in the time, you get nothing. That's what I'm here to help you guys with. I want to share with the world the possibilities of the FIRE lifestyle, because financial independence or retiring early is amazing. It's you choosing to live the life that you want to live. It's not really about the finances. Once you've understood the basic math behind financial independence and how easy it is to retire early, once you realize that all you need is 25 times your annual spending, if you get 25 times your annual spending in an account, you can live off that passive income. And to get there, there's a simple equation, right? You just basically have to done videos on that, the secret to retiring early and the secret to the 4% safe withdrawal rate. You can check those videos out. We'll link to them as well. All of these videos basically are sharing with you that it's doable. And it starts with making one action today. Cut one thing out today. What could you not do tomorrow that's going to save you $5 or $10? Could you cut your rent? Could you cut your transportation? Maybe you don't go out to the pub for a month. Do a no spend month. Just try it. It's a challenge. It's a fun challenge. I did a no spend for 1 year challenge, except for basic necessities. So I didn't buy anything for a year. That was a cool challenge. I had a lot of fun with that. I saved a lot of money, and that started to build my financial future. And so I really encourage you to take that on, because I want you to see that you can better your financial future, even if you're on minimum wage. So all those people reaching out who are saying, I can't do it because of X or Y reason, there's always a solution. It's about asking, how can I do it? Instead of closing your mind to the opportunity and saying, hey, I can't do that, therefore I'm clicking off this video. So stay on the video. And if you're here already, guys, and you didn't already smash that like button, I would love it if you smash the like button and share this around. I want to share that frugal living can be sexy. It can be fun. I have a family. I have a daughter, a 3-year-old daughter. People are going to come on here and say, hey, you can't be frugal on $20,000 a year living expenses because you don't have kids. And I have kids. You don't have a wife. I have a wife. Whatever excuse you have, there's a way to craft a solution that'll work for you. Maybe you say, I have to live in a great neighborhood. For my wife and I, we had to live in a great neighborhood. We live in a nice, private, cul-de-sac community with $500,000 houses all around us. And I still have house hacked that into a free living situation. You can do the same thing. You can live in a good area and have good things. It really angers me to watch these extreme cheapskate shows and watch these people who are on minimum wage complaining that they have to share. I watched one video of a lady who has to share she's living on the living room floor with 6 other people. And she's claiming it's because she makes minimum wage. Now we figured out her income is well over $20,000 a year. So where is the $20,000 going? She said she doesn't even have money for rent. She was evicted and she can't even pay any rent. So if she has $0 for rent, where is the $20,000 going? I've got strategies. You can live on $50 a week for healthy vegan food. You can eat healthy quality produce, things like avocado, rich in nutrients, and you can cook it yourself. It's about making changes today, right? And the frugal living lifestyle it's not a bad lifestyle. I want to take you guys around my house and show you how nice it is. We have one car and we share that car, and we don't drive very often. We like to walk and to bike, and a lot of our activities are, I like to watch movies, I like to hang out with friends, I like to go hiking and biking and walking and swimming, and all the things I love to do, gaming even, they're all free. So find free hobbies. That's one of the secrets that I've always implored. When I got out of the minimum wage situation and I got my first great job out of university, and I was making at 21 years old $50,000 a year. And some people are like, that's nothing, that's not a lot of money. But to me, it was a ton of money because I grew up, making $9 an hour. My mom grew up, single parent household. My mom made minimum wage. We struggled. We were on food stamps a lot of the time. And so I can really relate with that, being strapped and going from paycheck to paycheck. And the way to get out of it, the easiest way to get out of it, the sure way to get out of it is to control your spending and embrace frugal living. Now, it's hard at first. You have to start making conscious choices, right? You can't eat out anymore. You have to start making food at home. And maybe you have a stressful situation or a vice that's causing some of your problems. You may have to make a change. If you smoke, you might have to stop smoking. If you drink, you might have to learn how to curb back. Maybe do a 30-day no alcohol test, 30-day no coffee. I don't drink any coffee, that's just me. But you gotta find that vice, whatever it is, maybe it's lattes, and peel that back for 30 days and say, hey, is this adding enough value to my life? And maybe it is, and if it is, that's cool, you can do that. You can have that latte, but you can't have that latte and that fancy new car and that fancy house and go to the pub every night and order lunch while you're at work. You've gotta make a choice. You gotta say, hey, I've gotta make a sacrifice.
You choose your damn sacrifice.
And sacrifice literally means delaying the good now for more good later. That's what sacrifice is. You have to give up now to get later. And so I want you to do something for your future self. If you're on minimum wage right now, I want you to start a pact with yourself to find a way, look at what you're spending, track where you're spending and say, hey, what could I cut? What is that one thing I could cut out to save $10 a day? $10 a day, that's all I ask. If you could do that, that's the one thing. Start paying down your debt, maybe with that $10 a day. Save that $10 a day by paying down the debt. Even making a minimum payment of $10 every single day on your credit card debt, or whatever it is that you have, whatever bad financial debt you might have that's built up, maybe you start saving, whatever it is, but make a change today. That's what I'm asking for people out there today. And I'd love to see in the comments. I am excited to see whether people jump in and embrace frugal living and say, hey, I'm a minimum wage. I'd like to see, hey, Mike, how could I do this on $9,000 a year? Check out earlyretirementextreme.com. My favorite blog. I embraced it in 2009, 2010. It's a great book, Early Retirement Extreme. One of my favorite books written by Jacob Lund Fisker. He lives on $7,500 a year. Him and his girlfriend lived on $7,000 a year for a long time. They did RV living. They rented an apartment in Chicago and split the rent. but they've always been able to maintain around $7,000, $8,000 a year living cost. Now, if he can do it, and I've been to his house in Chicago, I've had time with him, and I can tell you, he is a bit frugal. I mean, his thermostat's a little low, and that's not a jab. He's frugal, and he does grow some of his own food and does do some things that I think are a little extreme, but they're not by any means deprivating. He's not suffering. He's in great physical shape. He eats very nutritious food. He has fun. He's changed his hobbies around things that, like, he likes to build things, for instance. That doesn't cost a lot of money to work with wood and to build things. You can find hobbies that gravitate towards that and make those shifts and changes in your life, because at the end of the day, it comes down to being able to get a grasp on your financial future. And I think the way to take the bull by the horns and do that is to look yourself in the mirror. And I mean, literally look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I need to make a change. I'm not able to get by right now as it currently is. And why is that? Most people will say, I just need to earn more money. And that's probably half the solution, but it's not the whole one. And yeah, I just want Frugal Living to get out there as this alternative that, like, hey, you could work your whole life in a cubicle. Even if you have a good job, you can work your whole life and spend everything you earn and be on that treadmill and be in that rat race your whole life and never be satisfied or happy. Or you can have all the free time you'd like to do the things that you love, to chase those passions and embrace frugal living. And maybe you have to sacrifice in a small way. Maybe you have to price match at the grocery store. Maybe you got to use some coupons. Hey, maybe you don't have the opportunity to drive that brand new car that you love. Maybe you have to drive a used car. But I tell you what, it's going to get you to point A to point B, and you're going to have a really enriching and satisfying life. Happiness, if you look at the hedonic adaptation and the hedonic treadmill, you'll find that happiness does not come from materialistic possessions. And the minute we get that blip of high of a brand new Ferrari or whatever it is that we think that we need, that brand new cell phone or whatever it is you think you need, you'll be right back down to baseline within a few days. And I can tell you this, materialistic things do not bring you happiness. And the frugal living lifestyle will make you happier than you would have been with the consumeristic, materialistic lifestyle. So join the minimalist movement, join the FIRE lifestyle and embrace that, and you'll begin to unlock financial independence for yourself, and you'll be retiring early and living the dream you want to live, living the life you want to live, working the job that you want to work because you choose to do it, not because you have to do it. That's what I want for all of you guys. Thank you for watching this video, and if you did enjoy it, I would love if you shared it. That would be awesome. That'd be so cool. And of course, people who watch the first intro are going to say, hey, that's what it's like being frugal, is like cheapskate extreme. It's not cheapskate extreme. It's very an enriching life, and I want that for all of you guys. The internet is at our fingertips. Entertainment is there, and it's free. We can choose those frugal habits and have fun with friends and family, because that's really what it's all about, is those spiritual, deeper connections in life that really do bring us happiness. So here's the outro that I do at every single one of my videos, guys. The secret to unlocking a wealthier you starts with spending less, learning how to earn more, and then maximizing the difference, or maximizing the returns on the money that you have saved. That's all it is, guys. That's the secret to wealth. Thank you all for watching so much. I'll see you on the next video. Fresh? Still fresh.